My name is Mia, and I'm 29 years old. For the past few years, I've been living in a bustling part of Portland, Oregon, where the streets are always alive with laughter, music, and the aroma of street food. It's a vibrant city, one that seems to welcome both the lost and the found. That's exactly how I felt when I moved here 3 years ago, like I was searching for a piece of myself that had gone missing. I found a job at an art gallery, which felt like a dream come true. Surrounded by colors, textures, and creativity, I was breathing in inspiration, and in the chaotic world of art, I began to heal. I had always loved painting, but for reasons I could never quite articulate, art had become a painful reminder of what I had lost. As I immersed myself in the world of artists, however, I started to envision a life where I could be myself again. As my birthday approached, I felt an urge to mark the day in a special way. I wanted to celebrate the woman I had become, a far cry from the girl I had once been. With that in mind, I decided to throw an intimate gathering at a cozy cafe, a space filled with art, good food, and friends who had become like family to me. I sent out invitations only to those I cared about, my art community, my friends from work, and a few old friends I had managed to reconnect with over the years. I spent hours planning every detail, the snacks, the playlist, the decorations. Finally, I was ready. The day of the party was a bright, sunny Saturday, and I could feel the excitement buzzing in the air. As I set up small easels with paint and canvas, I realized that I wanted this gathering to represent not just my birthday, but my journey of self-discovery and healing. The cafe filled up quickly with laughter and joy. I embraced each friend who came, feeling the warmth of their presence. But then, a part of me remained unused to the heat of happiness. Despite the camaraderie, I secretly hoped that my family would show up. After all, birthdays are a time for family, right? The thought of my mother and siblings arriving had lingered in the back of my mind. I wanted them to witness the progress I had made, the way I was learning to thrive without them. By 8:00 p.m., the cafe was alive with conversations, but my gaze kept drifting to the entrance. I chewed on my lower lip, heart pounding with each passing minute. The hope that they'd walk through those doors fluttered deep inside me. I had sent my mother an invitation weeks earlier, unsure whether she would even consider coming, but the mere thought of reconnecting with them gave me a spark of hope. Just after 9, the crowd began to wane. Friends slowly drifted away, leaving nothing but a haze of laughter and delightful exhaustion behind them. I cut a slice of cake, washed down by another sip of punch, trying to focus on the flavor and texture, wishing it could distract me from the emptiness that loomed in my chest. Still no messages, no missed calls, nothing. When I finally packed up and left the cafe, I stepped onto the street as darkness enveloped the world around me. I walked home alone, my heels echoing against the pavement, the only sound accompanying my heavy heart. I unlocked my door and stepped into the silence of my apartment, a stark contrast to the warmth I had just left behind. I sat on the couch, staring at the walls adorned with paintings that represented hope and renewal. Yet in that moment, they felt hauntingly empty. A week went by, and with it, my birthday faded into my past, just another day. I threw myself into work at the gallery, pouring my energy into projects that ignited my passion, but despite my external facade of enthusiasm, I couldn't shake the growing despair inside. I often found myself scrolling through social media, where photos floated by of perfect families, happy gatherings, and birthday celebrations. I longed to feel that kind of love, unconditional, unwavering. Then, one afternoon while I was organizing a new exhibit, my phone buzzed. A message from my older brother, an unexpected jolt of electricity amidst my mundane tasks. "Hey, Mia, we need to talk. Mom's worried about you. Can you meet?" My heart sank. Those words felt like a trap I had spent years trying to escape. I didn't respond right away. I had spent the past years training myself to avoid confrontation. My family had always been a source of pain, a tangled web of expectations, obligations, and power plays. Still, curiosity gnawed at me. What did my mother want to say? Did they actually care, or was this just a ploy to gaslight me once again? I finally replied and arranged to meet my brother at a small diner near my apartment. The place was bustling with activity, a backdrop of laughter I once found inviting, but now it only amplified the isolation I felt. I slid into a booth and waited, eyes darting toward the door, and soon enough my brother arrived. He looked flustered, the shadows under his eyes more pronounced than I remembered. "Mia," he said, wringing his hands nervously. Mom's worried. She hasn't heard from you and thinks you're hiding from us. It's been years since we were all together. I clenched my fists under the table. Years of what exactly? I asked, the hurt flooding back like a torrent. Years of being treated as if my worth depended on what I could give, he faltered, his expression falling. It's not like that. She cares about you. The words hung in the air, empty and unconvincing. I took a deep breath, embracing the fury rising within me. If she cared, she would have come to my birthday. She didn't even respond to my invitation. My brother looked at me, the weight of silence stretching between us until finally he said, We all struggle in our own ways. Mom is working through things. Working through things? I interrupted, anger rising like a tidal wave. Is that what you call it? Using and abusing me until there was nothing left of who I was. Mia, please. He ran a hand through his hair in frustration. You can't keep shutting us out. Isn't it time to stop pushing us away? My heart raced, and my mind whirled with memories of sacrifices made, of my dreams dismissed, of feeling less than every time a holiday rolled around. You don't see it, do you? I said steadily. All I wanted was to be seen, to be appreciated for more than what I could provide. Did you ever stop to think that maybe in trying to reconnect, you're just fueling the cycle? I don't want to be part of your drama anymore. He looked stunned, and I felt a twinge of guilt for laying it all out there. But I was done with the silence that had wrapped around me like a suffocating blanket. After a long beat of silence, he spoke softly. Maybe we can find a way back to each other. Family matters, Mia. I shook my head. Family shouldn't come with conditions. I've set my boundaries, and I need you to understand. I'm choosing to heal. It was as if a dam had broken inside me. I poured out everything, the years of disappointment, resentment, loneliness. My words tumbled out in a cathartic rush, and somewhere in the depths of my heart, I could feel a strange sense of relief. When I finally finished, his eyes were wide, still carrying the weight of disbelief. The day ended with unresolved tension, but I felt powerful. That conversation, painful as it was a step toward reclaiming my narrative. After that, my brother continued to send texts asking if I could meet again, asking if I was okay, but I kept them at bay. Each response was met with a short reply. Not out of anger, but instead I began the process of detaching from the emotional chaos that was my family. Weeks passed, and with the distance growing, something shifted within me. I began painting again, letting my brush create stories that reflected my healing journey. I poured my frustrations onto the canvas, splattering colors that felt chaotic yet freeing to me, a beautiful mess of emotion. Then one evening, I stepped outside for a walk, something I hadn't done in a while. I watched the sun dip behind the buildings, painting the sky in hues of pink and purple, and felt something akin to happiness swell inside. As I returned home, my phone buzzed once more. It was a message from my mother. The words were saturated with unresolved emotion. Mia, can we talk? We miss you, and I need you to understand I'm sorry. I stared at the message for a long moment. I felt the weight of childhood and family history, but also the lightness of newfound freedom. Crafting a response felt like stepping onto a precipice. I was terrified yet exhilarated. Taking a deep breath, I opened my notes app and began to type. I need time and space to process everything. I'm not ready to go back just yet. I hesitated before finally hitting send, sealing my words with a sense of finality. I spent the next few weeks continuing my artistic journey, exploring new techniques and themes, slowly rediscovering who I was without the heavy chain of expectation binding me down. I eventually organized a gallery exhibit showcasing my work, an event that felt freeing, shining a light on my authentic self. It became a celebration of my growth, my strength, something I had yearned for all along. The night of the exhibition, the crowd was lively and comforting as friends and fellow artists navigated the space, admiring my creations. I immersed myself in conversations filled with laughter, smiles, and genuine appreciation, none of it tied to obligation. And then it happened. As I bumped into a friend near one of my paintings, I noticed someone at the entrance. My heart sank. It was my mother. She stood there, framed by the door, visibly shaking as if she had fought against her fears just to be there. She looked golden under the warm exhibition lights, a raw vulnerability casting shadows across her face. Mia, she said softly, taking a cautious step forward. I came to see your art. I felt the familiar swirl of emotions welling up inside me, but instead of the anger and hurt that had previously dominated my heart, a deep well of understanding began to form. Why now? I whispered, the words escaping before I could stop them. I needed to see you to face the truth. she replied. I asked for forgiveness, not just for me, but for you too. You deserve to be free of our burdens. In that moment, I saw a glimpse of the mother I had once longed for, a woman capable of change, of accountability. I didn't respond right away. Instead, I took a moment to breathe, to process. I reached deep within and found the courage to let go of the past. Finally, I spoke. Thank you for being here. I need more time, but I'm willing to continue this conversation. We can take it one step at a time. The tension shifted, replaced slowly with a flicker of warmth and hope. She nodded, tears mingling with a tentative smile. I held her gaze, feeling the unmistakable thread of connection beginning to weave its way back into existence. We would never return to the way things were, but maybe, just maybe, we could build something new together, something genuinely liberating. That night, I returned home and collapsed onto my couch, filled with an overwhelming sense of relief. No longer did I view family as a one-way street filled with obligation. I had successfully made the choice to reclaim my narrative, and it had just begun to feel like freedom. If you've ever felt trapped by family expectations or struggled to find your own voice amidst the noise, know that you're not alone. Share your journey in the comments, and if Mia's story resonated with you, consider supporting the channel. Each story is a step toward healing for someone out there.